Good morning, Jody Hamilton. The sun is rising in Arizona.
It is.
Happy Clappy Day, Charlie Pierce.
Happy Clappy Day to everybody. Yeah, happy Petula Clark's 90th birthday.
Yes.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Yes, very exciting.
Dame Petula.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way,
By the way, Travis, how in God's name do you know that Susan Olsen has a podcast?
That was Chris, actually.
That was Chris.
Oh, was that Chris?
Yeah.
My God, you guys are gay. No kidding. I mean,
I keep up on the industry. I work in the radio industry.
Susan Olsen is I thought Susan Olsen made sneakers.
She does a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
don't underestimate
Wow.
Cindy Brady.
What could she possibly
Okay.
be talking about on her podcast?
She's actually kind of right wing.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Is she really?
She is, yeah.
Oh, throw her out of the family immediately.
By the way, Chris Lavoie, head of the Grammar Police here at the Stephanie Miller Show, would be happy with your tweet. The American Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Apostrophes has obtained a warrant against Donald Trump. Yes, I don't know whatever tweet this was. That was you were correct.
that was
A massive misuse of apostrophes.
He handed the job over to his intern from the University of California that's semi-literate.
Oh my God, they are freaking out about it's the same thing. They're all like, "Stop! Cancel all mail-in voting now!" Blah blah blah. Like raise the voting age.
Scott Walker came back from the dead to chime in on that one.
Yeah.
And they were so hot for mail-in voting
Yep.
about 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in fact, I thought it was one of the better ideas they've had in the last 30 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also because a lot of their voters are older and yeah.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's
And
there's
the
still
military.
probably a line of golf carts outside the polling place at the Villages down in Florida.
Speaking of the big announcement from Florida today, Newsmax tweeted, former President Donald Trump won't only officially announce his 2024 presidential race Tuesday, but he'll surround himself with his success stories from the 2022 midterm races, Dick Morris said on Newsmax.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord. That's a three-reel shot of stupid, isn't it?
You just said that is some vintage bull throughout this tweet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What will be those success stories, do you think?
Well, I think J.D. Vance is going to be working very hard up on that stage.
Just him. Yeah.
Herschel Walker hasn't lost yet.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think all this affects the Georgia runoff turnout, etc.?
Oh, I go back and forth on it, and I don't know enough of. I rely on Greg Bluestein for all of my Georgia political knowledge. I think that people are going to run away from Herschel like, lemmings over the cliff.
Yeah. After what happened.
There's no reason to vote for him. The only reason to vote for him would have been if the Senate was on the line.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only reason any sensible human being would have for voting for him. And it's a pretty bad reason, by the way. Yeah. But now there isn't one. I mean, there's no reason to vote for the guy.
By the way, we just played.
It doesn't mean people won't. It just,
Yeah.
I think certainly if Warnock was able to win the last runoff, he damn sure should be able to win this one.
Yeah. Not to mention
he's got
won
a
this
solid
one,
track record, and his opponent is
Herschel.
Campaigning with one half of his brain tied behind his back.
Yeah.
By the way, we just played Speaker Pelosi. You said Pelosi's plan to short circuit Republicans' debt ceiling hostage taking is just good sense. What I must have missed what she said. What were you referring to?
Well, she was talking about passing the debt ceiling during the lame duck session.
Yeah.
When they have the votes, and that therefore, come January, that particular time bomb will be defused.
Yeah.
The Republicans won't get to use it, for the usual blackmail.
Yeah. You said what you want.
Once again, thinking one step ahead of everybody.
Yep. You said what you want for Christmas. You said bring me all the judges for Christmas. That would be
yes. I want every federal judge in my living room. I would tell you what, I would start if Warnock holds on, they get a 2-vote majority. I would start running judges through there like water through a mill race.
Yeah.
I mean, before anybody, I would do it so fast the Republicans couldn't catch up.
Yeah.
Basically.
Agreed. You did say I don't think we fully appreciated the absurdity of Sadie Huckleberry Sandbox as governor of one of our 50 states.
Yeah, how crazy is that? That's been completely overlooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very, very weird.
Yeah. Okay. This piece was interesting this week. Can Joe Biden save America's soul? You said Trump's parade of brainworm sycophants continue to dominate headlines. Biden has doggedly persevered in his governance as he did in his campaign. The result is a tally of accomplishments as ambitious as they are historic. He's done all this on FDR LBJ legerdemain with a razor-thin majority in the House, a de facto stalemate in the Senate. He's done it in the teeth of a radicalized Republican Party, still enthralled to a nihilistic narcissist and its frenzied media ecosystem, and with an approval rating that month to month struggles to stay in the low 40s. This politically is nothing short of miraculous. A very big part of why is Biden understands that he's reached the Davy Crockett make sure you're right and go ahead portion of his political career. And you just said it's not that he's evolved, he's freed himself from the prison of his own ambition. I mean, yeah, there's something to be. I keep saying, are they wrong about his approval ratings? They sure were wrong about what was going to happen in this midterm. He's just kept his head down and accomplished one thing.
I think we're at a point in our history now where every president, at this point in his term, is a 40% approval rating.
Yeah.
The piñata has not broken for people, and they get very disappointed, and then they start disapproving, which is kind of a baggy word anyway. I mean, if I disapprove of my life, then I disapprove of the president.
Yeah.
I'm not sure approval ratings matter. Plus, as Biden points out, a lot of what he's passed hasn't trickled down to the people yet.
Yeah.
They haven't felt it yet. So, when they do, who knows?
Yeah.
Well, certainly, his approval rating, as demonstrated by the results among young people, is pretty high.
Yeah, I have to say, that is the huge story of this midterm, isn't it? What was it, Jody? The 18 to 29 vote.
Who knew that forgiving student loans and legalizing weed would bring in young voters?
Who knew? Joe Biden did. But it canceled out every vote over 65. I mean, that turnout among Gen Z was really extraordinary.
Yeah, and I thought what I thought was really interesting was that people or news outlets were counting up the votes cast on college campuses. Mm-hmm. Like I found out, you found out that Gretchen Whitmer got 95% of the vote at the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Or I think Chris, I think your alma mater, Arizona State,
yeah,
was, they came out with what the count was among the Arizona State students.
It was 96%.
That's the count. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen news outlets, go try to get those particular numbers.
Yeah, but only about 8,000 out of a 50,000 student campus voted. So I don't know that I would praise ASU that much.
But still, at least they voted.
Yeah.
They voted overwhelmingly for Mark Kelly. So every little bit helps.
Oh, I was going to say, Charlie, ever since we marched, but I marched with the March for Our Lives, and I left you like 75 blocks behind me. But still.
Well, you got very fast, and I was like working. So, I had to interview people and do actual journalism.
My point is,
I was hanging with Sue from Rockville anyway.
I know.
There you go.
But my point is, I mean, it was those kids. I mean, David Hogg has been tweeting, guns, like that was one of the things like that they care about, and they're voting on. They're the ones caught in the crossfire and grew up with active shooter drills. And one of the leaders of March for Our Lives was elected, 25 years old. I mean, I was so inspired that day just by. That was quite a thing. That was, I wondered, would the fire burn out? Right.
Especially when we had more mass shootings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Parkland, I thought, people may just give up on this.
Yeah. As it turns out,
a lot of people did, but these kids didn't.
Yeah, as it turns out, people don't forget their classmates all being slaughtered in front of them, and women don't forget losing their bodily autonomy they've had for 50 years. I mean, it's that to me was one of the great blunders, pundit blunders of all time. Yeah, the constant drumbeat that Dobbs had its moment. Now we were going to talk about inflation.
Right. No, please. Women.
That's what Eric Bowler would always say. They focus too much on what are Republicans mad about. Oh, I guess we're supposed to be mad about inflation and crime. Don't cover what Republicans want you to cover. Cover what people really care about, and what they cared about was saving democracy and Roe. Yeah, I mean the saving democracy point is very well taken, because that's
that was all those secretary. I mean, those
Yes.
Secretary of State elections weren't about, they weren't even about abortion, really.
Yeah.
They were about the way we run elections.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not wanting to hand them over to, the renegades and crazy people.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yay for sane people. Hooray.
And by the way, can we give Katie Hobbs a lot of credit for guts?
Thank you.
Because that was a guts move, not debating.
Wasn't it, Chris? Wasn't that a gutsy move not to debate a lunatic conspiracy theorist? I think that should have turned out to be a smart
I'm
move.
not picking on Chris. She heard it from everybody. She heard it from Axelrod and David Plouffe and, National Democrats up and down. And she said, basically what she said was, no, I'm not going to share a stage with a crazy person.
Thank you.
Just because she happens to have, the imprimatur of the Republican Party.
Yep.
She's got no more right to a public platform than, the American Alliance Party does.
You are correct, Charlie Pierce.
And
in fairness, Chris and I have worked together so long.
I thought it was a bad idea.
All right. Love you, Charlie Pierce.
But then again, Rand Paul wouldn't debate Charles Booker down in Kentucky,
true.
and Rand Paul won too. So
Yeah.
Well, he's a wiener.
maybe debates
He's a
have passed their
little wiener.
time.
Yeah. All right. Love you, Charlie Pierce. See you next week.
Why are
Say
you
goodbye.
giggling? Because you think I made fun of Chris? I did not.
Well, I'd rather get out now and pretend
No,
that you
she's
did.
just happy that you're on her side.
Yes.
She
instead
heard
of
what
my
she
side.
wanted to hear
I
from
hear
you, and
what
she's
I want to
done.
hear.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm done.
Well,
All right, love you.
I always do what Mama tells me.
Goodbye. Love you.
Thanks, Charlie.